Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Live from the Tony Wallow Studios, it's the Ken Stout Live Show, featuring the Zoom homies, produced by LK Productions. All right, welcome into Saturday night, April 15th, 2023. Ken Stout Live with the homies. And as you can see, we have William, Alex, Jeff, Greg, Jose, and Darren with us. Yes, again, it is a nightly show already in Zoom. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute their microphones that they don't even know are muted.
This is a rerun. I saw this before earlier today.
I remember those two parrots earlier today.
Yeah, I think I have seen them. All right, so let me put the bell on so when someone joins. Apparently we are speaking with the Spanish accent tonight. Brian says, El Correcto. Oh, Jeff Reitman was first tonight at 8:21. He said, hey, Tony Wallow was second. Great guy. Said YouTube was slowing him down. He was in third. William Dawson was fourth. Bobby Warren says, doggone it, I was in fifth. John Aloy Sr. says, hello, everybody. Hope you had a beautiful or good day. Beautiful in Virginia. Mid-70s, sunny and a nice breeze. And you were sixth, correct. And then the classic phrase of the night. The hell with it. I don't care what place I come in. I like that. What did the horse say after it tripped? Help, I've fallen and I can't giddy up. Oh, brother. Yep, Jeff says first from Las Vegas. Actually, you were first overall, Jeff, because you said, hey.
No, that phrase is actually copyrighted, right? Copyrighted.
What phrase is copyrighted?
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. The life of our people that made that, you know, the people that made that first bracelet or necklace or whatever copyrighted that phrase.
And I didn't say can't get up. Were you able to listen to what I said? I'll say it again. What did the horse say after it tripped?
They can't giddy up.
Help, I've fallen and can't giddy up. Yes.
You said
There's another one that's applicable to old men, but I can't say it when you're not streaming.
Josh Kinder said hello about 10:30,
Hey,
about 7 minutes, 10:27. Brian quoted Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band opening from their Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. And I had them just backwards. It is the act you know for all these years, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and then it goes into Billy Shears. Robert Graham tell you actually, Greg should have been first tonight. That's just a trade secret that's not going to be released. No, El Gato. That's so funny. It's from Tony Wallow.
It wouldn't post. It took about a minute and a half.
Really?
Yeah, I kept refreshing every 5 seconds.
Huh. That's
when you
That's
say
because of that virus I sent you.
when you say El Gato, you're not referring to the video capture card manufacturer or brand, are you?
actually, no, we're probably referring to the cat. Probably mispronouncing it, but we're referring to the cat. Do you not watch Doug Betts daily anymore? You're missing so much from not watching his show.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I watch it in 2x speed. It just depends on Uh,
He's
it
back.
just depends on
That's
my
all right,
mood.
Jose.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hey,
I
everybody.
wanted to
I
ask
did not hear
you,
the bell when you came in.
where was that background shot with the skydiver, and I see the military aircraft in the background?
That is the Bulldog Blitz skydiving team,
in the Blue Angels.
the Blue Angels, and the Patriot Jet. Oh, it's not in that photo. Oh,
Well,
oh
that is the
well.
Blue Angels we see there, though,
That
right?
is the Blue Angels, but those got retired. The number 2 is here at Castle Air Museum right now.
Okay, but I just wondering what airfield was that shot at?
Lemoore Naval Air Station. I didn't have a press pass. And this is the first time ever at a military air show. They gave me a performer's badge.
No,
So I
that's
got
kind of cool.
I was standing out on the taxiway when I took this picture. I'm looking back at the crowd. Oh, this picture is so awesome. I probably will never ever get a picture like that ever again. That was really
No,
cool.
no, but it's cool you got the performer's pass.
Yeah, it's hanging on my wall. NSA Lemoore 2019 Air Show performer.
All right.
Nice.
That just looks over press passes.
No, that is
And
a good picture, though.
I had to go through NCIS ran a background check on me. I had to get all this.
Damn, and they still let you in?
Yeah, they joked about it when I was coming in. The owners of Bull and Air me is like, yeah, they did a background check on you. I can't believe they're letting you in. That was a fun day. What a exhausting weekend. I had to get up at 4 o'clock every morning because I was out there Friday for the media only day, and then Saturday and Sunday. Oh, what a
That's what I
nightmare.
get to. That's what I get to look forward to if I get this job. Is getting up at 4:45 every Monday through Friday.
Let me. I'll
You'll
have to
get
turn-
old after about 3 or 4 months.
Can't wait. If not, I'm excited to get the job. I mean, I'm excited about the opportunity. You know, about this job. I'm just not excited that I had to get up before 5 o'clock every morning.
You'll
I'm
get used to
gonna-
it.
Where the hell do you go to turn off your background?
Right up above your picture, the 3 dots.
Or
Yeah.
right click in your picture, I think you can do it. Haven't checked that out in a while.
Background.
Today was the first day all week that I've been able to sleep in.
Yeah.
Don't normally sleep in on Sunday.
Okay. Here it is.
Let me spotlight you, Tim. Hang on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
There's the rest of the. Yeah, I'll save this.
All of it too.
I got a million press passes, but this is more powerful than press.
Jose's got
Well,
it.
I'll do that
Yeah,
again.
let me show you something. Look on his face.
Tim, you're not the only one, so don't feel so special about it.
Oh, there's
Hey.
people that's done better stuff than me, but that was cool.
Robert
And
brings
it was a
good point up.
skydiving team, and it was in a magazine, my article.
Robert brings a real good point up about work. He says, get up every morning is only the beginning of working in the real world and getting ready to be told what to do and do it their way.
Yeah.
Chris Garrett
my
says
dad
he'll
has
be
told-
here in a few minutes.
My dad has told me that time and time again. No matter if you think you know a better way to do it, when you get a job, you've got to do it their way.
Yep. They are paying you to do something the way they want it to be done. I'm going to go ahead and rerun the thing I opened the show with tonight. So if you would turn your attention to YouTube, if you want to see it, that's cool. If not, don't turn your attention to YouTube, but I'm going to start it right about now. Oh, wrong one. That's not what I was going to show. By the way, I'm back down to 259, and I got a feeling on that. But anyway, here we go. Let's try this again. Let's try this column. This column. So
You
that
need
didn't
to move
start
that-
out like that. Yes, Jeff.
You need to move that subscribe button. It's covering up part of my.
Didn't hear
picture.
That
Did you
project,
have audio with that?
No, there's no audio yet. I can add audio, but that project did not start out anywhere near how it turned out.
Okay.
The original project was going to be 3D.
Because I
Lettering.
muted Zoom.
Yeah, no, there's
unmuted that and didn't hear anything.
I have not added
Yeah, I
any
did
audio.
that.
Screwed up.
I did the same thing. That's kind of cool, though. I don't
Yeah,
know
we
where you get
tinkered
the
with it.
patience from to do all this stuff.
Jeff, Jose, Greg, and I, believe it or not, Greg was actually a participant in a DaVinci Resolve project this afternoon.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
wow.
wasn't feeling well.
And he only said, I'm getting a migraine 13 times. But as I was trying to do one thing, I liked what it did, and I thought I could build on this. And if you would have seen the original one, it was nowhere near what that was. And I'm still working on it. I'm still tinkering around with it. Josh, do you have 2 accounts? No, I think Josh only has 1 account, does he not? Josh Fortnite Kinder or
Far
Josh
as I
Kinder
know.
Fortnite?
Far as I know.
Yeah, I don't think he's got 2.
That was kind of cool about learning about AnyDesk. I knew nothing about that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. Pretty
My
pretty good thing.
my team viewer account got canceled years ago.
Sounds like that if you use TeamViewer for any more than like one individual in your family every other month or something, they soon cancel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I got
quit.
canceled.
I quit using it because it came to a point where it would only let you connect for not even 5 minutes to connect. Even if I was just connected to my mom's computer in the other room, it would only let you connect for not even 5 minutes. Long enough to see the desktop and then say bye.
Yeah.
Well, 10 years ago was the last time I used it.
Yeah.
I probably only used it on maybe 3 different computers because I didn't want to drive all the way across town to fix somebody's computer when I could have done it remotely.
Wow.
What was that one they spoke of that
Remote something, wasn't it?
Remote,
Yeah,
that remote utilities, I've heard of it from Catherine.
yeah, I looked up their web page and
I
the
did
cheapest
too.
option is like $90.
Ugh.
But it's like a free trial for 30 days and you gotta pay for it.
Yeah, the basic option wasn't as expensive per seat, but it was a minimum of 5 seats or something, so it was 200 and some bucks.
Oh,
You
this,
could get one technician license for 90 something.
yeah. This remote software is not cheap, especially the stuff that Doug uses. They logged me and used to offer a free version years ago, but they discontinued that and then
Well, if you're doing it all the time like Doug does, you can write it off on your taxes, I'm
Yep,
sure. It's a business
business
Yeah,
expense.
I don't do it all the time, so it's not worth my while.
Wintermute says Remote Utilities has a free commercial license.
Really?
I didn't
That's
see
what he
that.
just put in chat.
Well, I see that, but I didn't see it on their webpage. But I won't argue with Wintermute. He's usually pretty on top of things.
Yeah.
same way with the Macroom and Flex. I think they also have a free commercial license version.
think this is the last year they're going to have a free license, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you got it downloaded, you better hang on to it.
I don't know if I told you guys last night or not. When we were out driving around yesterday, we came upon a traffic accident and we had to divert through the countryside. There was two pickup
no.
trucks, and it didn't really look all that bad, but as we got back into town and all the fire trucks and ambulances and police and sheriffs that were flying by us, that was an indication it was relatively bad, and it turned out it was a fatality. 79-year-old woman got killed.
Sad.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. 16-year-old driving one pickup truck and a 79-year-old driving the other one, and two of them are still in, the 16-year-old and the 79-year-old male still in the hospital. So, yes, that is very tragic and very sad. Winter dropped a link over in the chat for remote utilities.
I dropped one in Zoom chat for the free license. I went and looked, and they do have a free license.
Cool.
It's getting harder and harder and harder to find free software for things like this. That you ain't got some kind of restrictions on. They're getting stricter and stricter and stricter.
Well, these companies are in business to make money.
Money, yeah. I mean, it's what it boils down to. They're
Yeah,
get the free version, get it all worked out, ironed out, and then drop the free version and charge people.
What was that link the other day where somebody showed Doug a link to all of the free versions of Macrium Reflect? It wasn't from Macrium. It was one of these websites that hosts various versions of useful utilities.
Oh, I saw that
I
today.
don't remember that.
And I did not bookmark it.
I can go through my history.
Well, I'm just curious.
Hey, Chris.
It's hard to find the latest free version at Macrium itself.
The latest free version, I believe, is 8 something. I just downloaded an update to my version of Macrium. I still have the free.
8's the latest one, and that's going to be it.
For the free version, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's
Now
one,
back.
the first thing that pops up on a Google search is Macrium Reflect free trial. And under that it says Macrium Reflect version 6 free, but they're up to version 8.
Yeah, they're trying to hide that free stuff, I've noticed on the website.
That hard drive you sent me, that external hard drive you sent me, Jeff, came with the free version of Acronis. That I could make a.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they used to do that.
That I made a USB drive of, and as long as I have that.
Yeah, as long as you have a hard drive
plugged in.
brand connected, it'll back up any other drive too. Yeah, it says, here's the thing. It says security patches will be provided until January 1, 2024. After that date, we will no longer provide any changes to the version 8 free code base, but you can continue to use it in perpetuity until Microsoft does something so that it don't work anymore.
Yeah.
I believe Wintermute shared this link earlier today. I'm going to post it.
All right. Appreciate it.
And I was surprised at what I read. 15 years ago, I used to use Acronis, but it was a DVD bootable. And now that stuff's gone away. A lot. I work on a lot of laptops, and all these newer laptops don't have. All these new laptops don't have DVD players no more.
I've got 2 versions of Acronis because I bought it near the end of the year and they gave me a free license to the next year's version. And that was before they had completely merged it with their antivirus stuff.
I'm not going to use it.
And that's still working. And so I'll use it for a while. I've got another one that I'd bought a license for not that long ago from Paragon Software. The only trouble with it, and I've got an old version of that worked very well for cloning drives and everything, but their latest version when you make a flash drive to boot from, you have to remake it annually. Don't have to pay any more
Really?
license fees, but you got to remake it every damn year, which is I find to
That
be a pain in the
is
neck.
that a Cronus?
No, it's called Paragon Hard Disk
Oh, okay.
Manager.
20 years ago, I used Norton Ghost.
Yep.
Oh, I haven't heard that term in a long time.
Oh,
Norton
And
Ghost.
before that, in
Wow.
DOS days, I used Fastback and backed up to 5 1/4-inch floppy drives.
Jesus.
Oh, there's also
Eons
Wow.
ago.
there was PowerQuest Drive Image and Compact. Their recovery partition, you would have to make it, but you would have to have a boot disk. The earlier versions of XP, you would have to have a boot disk to be able to recover the compact. I took a drive image. It was branded, the compact version was branded compact, but it was drive image really. I took a regular drive image boot disk and I restored an old compact computer one time.
When you say a boot disk, is that the same thing as like you would use
Floppy,
when you was
it was
installing
floppy.
95? It would be like a boot disk, and then you would have to insert like a CD. It'd be a floppy, and then you.
It was it had you know how you have a Cronus on USB. This was the program on floppy. It would boot to the kind of like Cronus boots to a USB. And also I've done it with Norton Ghost. I've recovered computers like Dell's used to have a version of Norton Ghost for their recovery partition. I've done it that way too.
Wow, I
Thanks,
hadn't
But the
used
William.
none of
Windows
that.
wouldn't work. I think it was, you had to press the key on a Dell. You had to see that little blue bar go across the screen. Some of the Dells, the XP versions, sometimes that bar wouldn't show and you couldn't get to the recovery partition. So I used a Norton boot CD. I made it with I burned the floppy image to the CD.
Wow, you're bringing back some memories, Chris. I haven't used none of that stuff in years.
Back in Windows 7 days, you could because everything was still on legacy mode. You could still use the old Windows XP Live CD environment of Hiram's boot CD.
Yeah, you can still
But
get
now you can't use that anymore. Not if you're doing something with Windows 10 or whatever that's got
I think
a
you can
GPT.
with Windows 10. If it's legacy boot, if it's an older computer with legacy boot,
You might come with legacy boot, but I was talking about UEFI and GPT. It
Yeah.
don't.
it won't.
It
It may
don't
not
work.
work.
Yeah, I can remember when Fry's Electronics was a going concern many years ago. I would go down there once a year and they would have a special on Norton packages from Symantec, and you would get Norton Utilities and Ghost and one other one whose name escapes me as a set for the price of just one of them. But
think
then I got disenchanted with Norton Utilities, and it just Norton Antivirus was the other one they would
I've used
take
the
in the
Norton
bundle.
Utilities and didn't install Norton Antivirus a lot of times.
Well, Norton Utilities in DOS days was good when Peter Norton was actually doing it himself. After it moved to Symantec, it became a piece of crap generally.
Yeah, so
Well,
they had a version of ScanDisk.
And Macrocrap.
I had
Man.
used I had bought Norton for I don't know at least a couple of years
Yeah.
back when I had a really old Windows Vista machine and a really old Windows 7 machine, and it was slowing my computer down as slow as anything. So I finally took it off and I got some other antivirus back in 2015 that's supposed to be good for a lifetime license. It's still on my mom's computer to this day, and it still runs and still updates but there's no, I haven't put it on my computer. And if I ever have to redo her computer for any reason, I probably won't put it back on there again.
Yeah, way back in the day, I had a little over 20 years ago, I had a Dell Pentium 2 system, and I put McAfee on it from some free trial or something I got someplace, and it dragged that thing to its knees,
Mhm.
literally.
Or
It was just nuts. And
my mom used to pay for the ISP's tech support service and the ISP's security software they offer. And guess what they offered for security software? McAfee.
now, well,
No.
Cox here in Las Vegas, for most of the years I had a version of somebody's security software that you could download for free with your subscription to Cox.
They
Yeah,
still
Cox.
offer something, but I don't know what it is. 'Cause
And
haven't
I don't
looked.
remember now. It was hard to get to the page where you could download that stuff and install it. And I finally got irritated and just quit trying.
Back in the day,
Comcast did that where you could get McAfee for free, but still it just dragged your system down. The only thing I ever found it was useless. Only thing I found it would work good was AVG free
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want to pay for a prescription. But
There
now I
was
don't
a
use
version-
anything.
there was a version of McAfee back in 95 and 98 days where when you uninstalled it, there was a bug. It will remove some system INI files and you get errors on startup. You have to keep hitting enter. It will tell you files are missing.
Oh, I remember that crap.
You could reload 98 by not formatting, but just reload it with a boot disk or whatever.
The software that I still use on my mom's computer that I got back in 2015 never had a problem with it. The company, if I do have a problem with it, the company offers 24/7 lifetime technical support. They're out of, I believe, Clearwater, Florida. Threat Track Security, I think, is the company name.
I have noticed a lot of tech guys use malware bytes. I don't.
I do keep the free version of Malware Bytes on our machines just in case something gets on there and I have to remove it, but I don't see the need to pay for it.
I'm not going to use it. I'll just go to one of my image backups.
But neither one of our computers has had a problem. Mine or my mom's. The only problem hers had was it blue screened once, and I believe it was because it ran out of memory because it only had like 8 gigs at the time, and she had a bunch of stuff open at once.
There was a lady he repaired a computer for this lady one time. It was like an E-machine or Acer or something, and it had a bad virus, something control panel, and he was having a hard time removing it. I had that same virus, and I used Revo uninstaller. I know Kerry don't like that, but he don't like Revo uninstaller, but I used it on that to remove that, and it did fine. I ran malware bytes, made sure it was gone. Didn't have no more problems.
He just don't like it if you can remove whatever software with the normal way, you should do that, and then if there's no other way to get rid of it, then use Revo uninstaller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
doesn't.
like uninstallers in general.
He doesn't like using the third party stuff.
I've recently tried Revo uninstaller, and I had used it years ago, and I did not care for it. I was using it how they said to set it up so you could use it on multiple computers.
Portable.
Yeah, and that was not working well at all. And I'd actually paid money for it, and I just basically threw the thing in the wastebasket.
Well,
Went back to using another uninstaller that I know nobody else likes very much, but I do.
well,
What drives what
I use
drives me up.
IOBit uninstaller. Now with IOBit, they got a lot of stuff that you don't want to mess with because they try to install other things on your system. But I've had good luck with their uninstaller. So
And you just got to be careful going to places and installing things. And most
Well,
people aren't careful.
and I have another utility called JV16 Power Tools.
Never
And
heard of
it's
it.
one of these utilities. It has an uninstaller, but it has a bunch of other cleanup crap like people used to be interested in and all of that. And the only reason I still have it is that years and years ago, I paid for a lifetime license. So I keep a copy whenever they issue a new one, but I don't have it installed. And it's there if I ever need to fiddle with something because it's already paid for. But I got over using things that mess with the registry and all that sort of thing.
Oh,
I used to
speaking of
do
the,
stuff like that when I was a little kid, but I don't anymore, of course. now
Well,
that
I
know.
used it during XP days, and I had XP Media Center on a machine. And if I didn't fiddle with stuff like that occasionally, I would have to reinstall XP fairly regularly. Don't ask me why, but it would never, the longest I ever had it go without needing reinstallation was a year. And still not clear to me why. Media Center was a bastardized thing. It was a variation on Pro, but it
Was it-
wasn't exactly Pro. And so they had taken Pro and put the media stuff into it, but taken out access to some of the other Pro features. And I'm not sure it was ever done entirely correctly.
I was about to say, when I was in middle school, the school gave me a Windows XP professional laptop to use so I could print stuff off, do my Word documents and whatnot, and look up things. And I never had a problem with it. It was a Dell Latitude something or other.
When the job I had initially when I worked here in Las Vegas, I worked here for 10 years. And when I came here, they were using Windows 95, even after 98 and me and whatever was out. And actually, it was very stable the way they had it set up because you couldn't put anything on the system and they wouldn't put it on unless they had tested it exhaustively against every other piece of software anybody might use. That's how they kept it clean. But then eventually we went to XP Professional, and the way that was done at work, we never had any issues with it.
Yeah. That's the reason why I never had any problems out of any of the machines we had set up at college. Because once I re-imaged those machines, I re-imaged them all with the same software, exactly the same software. Nobody was allowed to put anything on those machines.
Yeah. Well, that's what they did where I worked. They had an image, the base image that everybody used. They had two of them, one for everybody except the design engineers, and they had Dell workstations instead of the regular machines, the business machines. And so they had an image for all of us, and then they had an image for the design engineers. And then with permission, you could add other stuff onto it. But the base image was the same for everybody. And that had been tested pretty well. And to give you a good idea of how your government money is spent, they had a corporate enterprise license for Windows XP Pro. But when they bought their machines from Dell, each of the machines also came with an XP Pro license. So they paid for the licenses twice. There's your tax dollars at work.
when they didn't need to, just like now when you buy a computer, it comes with Windows 10, or when they get a computer, it comes with Windows 10 Pro with a key built into the BIOS, so there's no need for them to have a key. Buy extra.
So, well, I mean, like if you're an enterprise and you order machines from Dell, for example, you can buy them without that key in the BIOS. And then you can buy straight from Microsoft an enterprise site license for the enterprise version of whatever Windows you're going to run.
I see Ken is chopping my head off.
98. My
Which is
computer
No, I'm
Xbox.
not doing anything. It's too many people are in right now, but I'll adjust it. Give me a second. I was in the process of doing something.
My computer was 98. The problem
Just
with it
messing with
was
you.
a program called Backweld. It would use to check for updates on compact site. I didn't know much back then about that stuff, and it would always crash the computer. It'd say this program caused an illegal operation, and it was always Backweld. It happened more when the computer was out of warranty. I guess it was checking. I guess it couldn't find the update because it was out of warranty or something. I don't know, and it crashed.
I still get an illegal operation error occasionally if software gets messed up. A little
On
over a week
10?
ago, I had to uninstall and reinstall a couple of pieces of software because I was getting that sort of message. And Firefox would not go to any website at one point. It just kept giving me an error message, and yet the same version running on my old desktop was working fine, and the websites were working fine with Edge.
Both of the pieces of software that my mom uses for like the bulletin, or that she has used for doing stuff, for doing her bulletins and stuff for church, they both are absolute pieces of crap. One's like really slow as molasses, but it don't give any errors, but it's just slow as molasses, even though the machine's perfectly adequate. And the other piece of software, it runs perfectly fine. But when you open it, it just gives you an error. And it don't matter how many times I've tried to reinstall it, uninstall it, reinstall it again, uninstall it again, I still get the same error.
Yeah.
So I just given up on it. It works. Everything
It is SSDs.
What was that?
I said they need SSDs.
Both of our machines do have SSDs. It's just the software, the way the software is coded. Both of those software programs are coded, or it's pieces of crap.
Just old software, and they haven't spent much time, if any, updating it.
And I've tried to get my mom to use other pieces of the software, but she can't. Even though I've got Publisher on the machine, I find some other piece of software to put on there, and she don't want to use nothing else.
Well, at some point in time, in 5 or 6 years, if she's still doing the bulletins and the old stuff won't work anymore, she may have to go to something else, but I wouldn't fight her about it until that happens.
Yep.
Be back momentarily.
And the thing about it is
go.
the software that doesn't give me an error that's really, really slow. We bought a license for that. That's not too long ago. It's only like 2 or 3 years ago. We got like a 3-user license for that software, and I installed it, and like it's just really, really, really slow. Like when you go to print something, you wouldn't believe how slow it is.
Ken, what do you have to say about all this?
Your glasses has been mentioned in the chat. Someone said you look like a movie star. I said no. Your name is now Neo. A couple of them actually got it. I was going to put on my Blues Brothers glasses, but I can't find them. I do have a Blues Brothers hat somewhere as well to go with the Blues Brothers glasses. Brian. That's funny.
So my mom seems to think that my grandpa or my grandma actually spent like $500 to buy this iPad that I've got from the newspaper that they loan to people to read the paper off of. But the funny thing is, when you look at the home screen of that iPad, it says property of Arkansas Democratic Gazette. And if you go into the settings, it says managed by Arkansas Democrat Gazette. It's definitely, they definitely haven't owned it. It's still the company's property.
Did they buy it or was it on loan?
It's on loan, but she said, or somebody said that they had spent like $500 on it, or they thought they did, but they didn't. They didn't. They may have spent $500 renting it or whatever over the course of the time it had it, but it's on loan because it's obvious that when you turn it on, it says on the lock screen, it says property of Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
Are they still in business?
Yeah, I called them and they said, "We'll send you a return label. Just put the return label on it. Make sure you give us the original box and the charger back and the tablet, of course, and slap the return label on it and put it in the post office."
Original box. Good luck with that.
So the paper didn't. They rented out iPads instead of you getting a paper.
Yeah, you can still get a physical paper if you want it, but they now have option of giving out. They now give out iPads. They want to switch people to iPads.
Give them out, or do they rent them?
If you have a subscription to the paper, and you want it, they'll give you an iPad.
Wow.
To read the paper.
They loan it to you, right? They're not giving it to you.
Yeah, they loan it because of course, it says it's their property.
Sure.
So
I'm surprised that it's iPads and not cheaper tablets like Android, because iPads are expensive.
yeah, it is. It's an iPad 6th generation, a normal 9.7 inch iPad 6th generation, 32 gig model.
I'm gonna have to go get my Terminator glasses now.
I've got it sitting here on my little shelf and in its box, ready to be sent back to the.
That's funny. We got 12 people in, and I've readjusted Zoom. It looks okay for now. I've got a funny feeling, though, if one more person joins, it's going to push that top row up into the clocks. And thanks for telling me the clocks are off a little bit.
That's when you could put Alex in the waiting room.
It's still going to not change the top row. It's still going to be up into the clocks. How do I have to fix that? What do I got to do to fix this?
Alex, today Doug put Ken in the waiting room.
Twice. He didn't like my comment about rearranging the waiting room so that it would be pleasant to be there.
Did you put some new wallpaper in there?
I forget what I've got mine set up for or how, but
talk about the waiting room.
Yours is fireworks, I think, unless you've changed it.
Sounds about right. All right.
Doug doesn't put anything nice in his waiting room.
Yeah.
All you get is the Zoom logo.
I suggested it to him today. All right, what's up with the clocks? Clocks are completely gone on the stream.
No, they look right.
On the stream? I see.
Yeah.
I only see EDT, CDT, MDT, PDT, BSD, and COT, and ADT. I don't see the clocks themselves.
I see the clocks.
Working.
They're there.
You just got to put sunglasses on to see them.
Yeah, I was just good one, Tim. I was going to say that.
That is strange.
I don't know, enough of that crap.
I got a funny message today from Josh. He sent me a picture of a cake that for his birthday, and it said on it, "Happy 3rd birthday." So I thought he sent me a picture of a cake that he had gotten on his 3rd birthday years ago, but instead they actually messed it up. It was supposed to say 30th birthday.
Oh man, that's a
When's your birthday, Josh?
They're coming
typo.
over.
When did he say?
They're coming
Thursday.
over.
Well, happy early 30th birthday.
Thank you.
I remember mine.
I'll be 30
Part
in
of it.
January.
So a simple refresh did fix the clock issue, but now Zoom is a tad bit too high.
You're just too picky.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, what's up?
If I lower it,
I downloaded one arrow trigger. What changes do you make in that program so you can see it?
Oh, I'd have to go take a look.
we'll discuss that after the stream ends. It gives you time to go look up your settings so you can let him know.
That means someone to walk me through it. I downloaded it. I only made one change so far.
Before or after Doug did what he did this morning or this afternoon?
After he did what he did.
Poor guy. He worked his butt off today.
Yeah, he was in there with William and then Joshy.
You know what you should have did, Josh? You should have made a backup before, after Doug did what he did. So that if you screw some,
Yeah, I know.
Backup.
They'll make a backup at 2 a.m.
On Monday morning.
No, tonight.
Is it tonight?
Yeah.
Doug made my backup. It's his name of his computer. Is a second backup on his drive.
Looks better.
Only thing about scheduling backups, you got to keep that drive, the external whatever.
True.
yeah. And actually, when I was helping Josh with his computer before, he would just always have it plugged. He would just always plug it in like before he went to his aunt's because it would always back up at the end of the month, once a month. Sunday morning at like 2 a.m. And so when he went to his aunt's, before he went to his aunt's or wherever, he would just plug it in for me, but he didn't leave it plugged in all the time. So as long as you remember to plug it in before it's supposed to make a backup, it'll be fine.
I actually like the way you have my computer set up, but I'll never be able to remember all the settings you changed to do it like that.
Well, it's not that hard. I think I recorded you a video. You can go back and go back to my channel and look at it.
You made a video on how to back it up, but you didn't make a video on how to change it to make it bigger.
Make what bigger?
The font size.
That's easy.
I got a couple machines. I got differential and the other. One of them's once a month and the other one is once a week.
With
But the way I have it set up, if it runs out of disk space, it deletes the older ones.
yeah.
So I don't
but-
worry about it.
But I think you have to have the paid version of Macro Reflect. If you're referring to Macro Reflect, I think you have to have a paid version to be able to do incremental and differential backups.
No, the free one does it. It's been doing it on this one machine for a year now.
Just set it for once a week, every Saturday or every Sunday.
That's what I do. I do it in the middle of the night when I'm asleep. Of course, I don't turn my machines off. Well, there's a couple machines they're programmed to turn off at 4 a.m. every morning.
Well, I do it.
So
I do it
they're-
manually.
Well, that's just what I do. But the software is set for a different time before it shuts down.
Well,
Well-
Oh,
Twenty.
I've been meaning to tell y'all about this. Remember back several Kerry videos ago where he was talking about this router rebooter thing? This device you plug your modem and router into, and it will automatically reboot it at whatever time.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember? Well, guess what I found? In my router, there's a setting. It's called reboot schedule. So I
Oh,
can
nice.
it does the same thing as that device Carrie was talking about, except for it don't cost nothing. If I wanted to set that, I could have it reboot every day at like 2 a.m. or once a week or once a month or but of course I don't want to do that. But if I ever wanted to, it's got the feature.
I don't want to reboot my router.
Only if I have to.
Yeah, I know.
I'll reboot it if it's not working right. That's the only time
I
I
had
will
to
do that.
uh, reboot my grandma's 2 days in a row, and when I was there last week, and I don't ever have to reboot her router, but after all the tornadoes and everything, they said that they've been having problems with their fiber optic, the cable company, and so. But her router has probably ran for a year in the past without being rebooted because I'm not over there very often, or wasn't before now.
That tornado the other day that went through, I talked about, it was actually the town I lived in. And it's like 40 miles from Macon, and probably the radar is probably 20 miles to the radar, and that radar was picking it up real good, so you know it was a tornado, it was something. They said it looked bright on the radar because it's so close to the radar.
That was a couple of days ago, Chris.
Yeah, it was Cochrane. If you ever heard of Cochrane.
I know exactly where it's at. I had some family members get in touch with me that night. They were okay. Their airplanes are okay. Every time a tornado goes through there, somebody forgets to tie down their airplane and it gets destroyed.
Well, Cochrane's got it's a small airport.
Still, yeah.
Mostly crop dusters.
There's a lot of crop dusters there.
Yeah.
That's a big business. My cousin's in Statesboro. He's got his own private field. And he's got I think he's got 3 lots empty there right now. So if you buy a lot from him, your house is on one side of the runway. It's a grass runway. Your hangar's on the other side of the runway, but the big house that's there is a crop duster. He's making millions.
That'd be a rough takeoff. A grass runway.
No, not really. That's what I learned on was the grass. And a tail dragger. That wasn't fun. That's like trying to steer a boat with no power. Of course, you use your feet to steer the damn thing. You can't see over the nose or the cowling of the airplane. Fun days. I won't forget them.
Did you have to fill any ruts created by the tires of the airplane?
Some idiot wanted to take a shortcut across the runway one time in Statesboro, that one in Brooklet, which no longer exists, so he could do his job on a cotton field or tobacco field, and he put a rut in it. Oh, we had to shut it down for a while and fix it. That big old ditch would just ground loop you and destroy your airplane. That was not cool.
Brian, you have anything interesting to talk about tonight?
Nope.
Eileen Novak joins us in the chat room. I believe this is the first time I've ever seen Eileen Novak in our chat. I've seen her in other places before.
I
Good
have
to see
too.
her there. Studio Al said hello. He said the weather is awful lately at the 11:24 mark. And something about he can't get his virtual machine to mount, so I had to submit a new thread with Fedora 37. That's all Greek talk that's way above my head.
There's some bad storms going up through Memphis all the way down.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching that all day.
They're probably gonna combine with the ones that's in the panhandle of Florida. By the time they get here, they might be gonna combine with each
We
other.
just had a storm come through here a couple hours ago.
That's the
It was
storm
it
that's
was
in
ra-
Memphis
it
now.
was it was raining really hard, but you couldn't see it.
It's really bad near Hopkinsville. That's where my dad was born.
Where
Really
at?
bad. Hopkinsville. I have a hard time
Georgia?
saying that. No, Tennessee.
Okay.
I think that's Tennessee, or is that Kentucky? I get confused on all these states. I know the cities, not the states.
Yeah, Kerry Holzman just did a live stream about thermal paste.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
I
kind
don't know
of
if he's still
cool.
doing it or not.
No, I think it's over.
It's over with. Jim chimed in there.
And
I didn't.
Jim's busy away doing what he does.
Poor guy.
Who
I
left?
didn't. I didn't realize it would take a live stream for somebody to learn how to put on thermal paste. Well, yeah, it would, because I could see people putting it
Oh,
all over the motherboard, thinking that's a good thing.
man. Whatever.
What did he mention? Somebody said something about putting toothpaste on it.
Yeah, and somebody did.
So
How'd
they
that
did
go?
it, but it only lasts for 2 days.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did. It actually did work, but
Yeah,
2 days later, not so much.
yeah, it all dried up.
2 days later, they had to take it to the dentist and get it fixed. But
And get X-rays done on it.
yeah, really.
I
All
get
right, Studio Al says my tech account is Yates Network. All right, now some things are falling into place. That still
I
doesn't
recognize
explain
that.
a lot. Eileen says filling. Yeah, really. That's
Yates Network was on Doug's channel today.
he was.
Yeah.
He certainly was. Doug went for about just shy of 4 hours today. He wouldn't take my suggestion to take my tech question with 7 minutes to go for the 4 hour mark. I noticed he threw me in the waiting room rather promptly on that one.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him either.
I don't either. I thought it was funny.
It is kicking fun.
Just wait.
I caught Doug's broadcast a little bit this afternoon for a few minutes, but I've been going through a little bit of back pain, and about 6 pills later, hey, I'm feeling no pain.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Well, that's unfortunately we have that at the age that we are at, and I think you're a little bit older than I am. So I know how you feel.
Yeah, I've been.
Anybody want to ask me about this?
The
What
green
happened?
thumb,
The hell?
a golf accident.
No, I
Nope.
wish it was a golf accident. I'd actually be all right with that. No.
You weren't
Cut
trying to
on
get
a
Julia
cooler
Childs or
pan
something, were you?
pin.
No.
He was grilling.
No. She made biscuits for dinner last night, and I wanted to have a biscuit. So I get out the knife, and I pick up the biscuit, and I thought I'd try to
Green
cut it
background's
like I've
on.
seen people cut at various sub shops. And the first thought I had in my head was, don't cut your thumb. Needless to say, I put a
You do.
huge little slice down my thumb.
Oh, I want to see you go golfing now.
I'm gonna hope to golf Tuesday, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on it. That's
Yeah,
the
when that thumb swells up a little bit more. I want to see what kind of grip are you going to have on that shank? Just take some video of that one.
well, it's gonna be live if we golf. That's the plan.
Back when I was an electrician, me being stupid and hard-headed, not using the proper tool, I decided to use a box cutter to strip the wire, and I cut that left thumb all the way down to the bone, right
that-
on the
that was not
edge
quite
of the
as
freaking.
bad.
Oh
I don't
man!
know. I bet you.
And I was stupid and didn't go to the hospital to get stitches.
Oh,
And now I got this weird little bump on the edge of my thumb now.
I doctored this up. It didn't need stitches or anything, so I'll be all right.
Tim, I did a similar thing working in the grocery store where we were opening cartons with box cutters and held
Man,
a
those
carton
things-
while some other dumb used the box cutter and cut my index finger clear to the bone.
Ugh. Man, it hurts.
bet.
You can't stop the
And
bleeding.
there's still a little scar there for years. It took a long time before all the nerves healed. One side of that finger would get numb when it was cold in the wintertime.
Oh,
Kroger,
I know that
you
feeling
have-
with the nerve endings. Try slicing your arm open with a chainsaw.
Well,
Oh no, let's not try that.
Kroger had certain box cutters you were supposed to use approved by them.
Eileen said she better behave herself. Not in this group. You get along much better if you don't behave yourself.
There was
Uh,
a left hand box cutter and a right hand box cutter.
you used a box cutter in both hands at the same time?
No, I'm saying if you're left handed or right handed.
Oh, okay.
They were box cutters, but I always ordered. Cause I did the ordering for supplies.
Well, one place I worked, the division safety officer was using a chainsaw up in a tree and cut off the limb he was sitting on. True story.
I heard it.
oh,
How far did he
those
fall?
are funny.
About 12 feet. He was bunged up for quite a while.
And he was holding the
bet.
chainsaw when he fell, wasn't he?
Yes.
See, that'd been.
Uh,
I would have
He
been
did
throwing
let
that.
go of the trigger, I think.
I think I would have
I
tried to
saw-
throw that thing as far away from me as I could if I'm falling.
I saw something on Instagram and I laughed so hard about it. This guy had a ladder on top of a ladder, his wife or girlfriend's underneath him, holding the feet of the second ladder up. He's cutting a limb. The limb hits him in the head, knocks him off the ladder, and the chainsaw falls on her and knocks that ladder down. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah,
It
you
was
know
fun.
why they did that way, Tim. There's one or two
Oh,
reasons why they
God.
did it that way. They either stayed at a Holiday Inn Express the night before, or they were watching a YouTube video. One of the two,
Probably.
or both.
This
They
is how
probably
you do
stayed
it.
at a Holiday Inn Express and watched YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and push the button to end the stream.
I don't get the Holiday Inn Express joke.
They're just making fun at the fact that they say if you stay there, it makes you smarter. It has not helped me in 15 years. Don't believe them. Okay, where did this go? This got moved to somewhere. I think it's this one right here. Oh,
Hey,
it is. I
man.
got the right one. Well, I got my OBS all messed up. I'm getting ready to redo it. I think that's what I'm planning to do
God
tomorrow.
damn, I thought it was gonna be a Tammy outro.
I notice you still haven't fixed the spelling.
Huh?
You still haven't
Oh, I
fixed the
thought
spelling.
I did fix that. I just didn't fix. I didn't redirect it to go to the right one. It's fixed.
Oh, okay.
I had a step ladder once, but I never did know its real father.
I knew that was coming.
Look at Jim shaking his head. Just
Oh, I knew that was on
Oh,
the way.
wow.
I'm thinking I'm back.
If Eileen and Ski Man and Studio Al will let us know what part of the neck of the woods they're from. I'll try to figure out a way to throw them in on the clocks, and I'll make a special category just for them. We got the good night and thank you. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night at 10:30, and I may do 2 Daily Da Vinci's tomorrow, and I'll explain that later. Thank you.
Oh, God, I'm gonna have to take 3 naps now?
Well, one of them's going to be specifically for Great Guy. Now see, I had to mention your name, because if I don't, I'll have to start the stream all over again and then say, and thanks to Great Guy. So since I've mentioned your name twice now, we're good.
So you say.
Well, that's a good point. Stream